What's up, everyone? Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound. We got a nice early-ish Saturday pocket change market report. I wanted to get this out as quickly as I could, so that way if you guys were heading out to the banks or maybe a local coin shop, this will give you the opportunity to kind of plan your day, get those collective cherry-picking, juices flowing as always. So what's the pocket change market report? Okay, for all you new folks that are making your way to this particular regular segment on my channel, it's real simple. If you find it in change or through coin roll hunting, or perhaps maybe you cherry picked a really cool error variety from a local coin shop or show, you could certainly sell them on eBay. We're here to talk about it. Okay, what coins are relevant and legitimate and genuine in the marketplace. People are making some pretty good money, okay? And the really cool thing about the coins that I highlight on the pocket change market report is that they're all raw, okay? There's no graded coins. You don't have to send anything to PCGS or NGC, having to pay, $25, $30 per coin. I mean, that could get pretty pricey. And in all reality, it would defeat the purpose of this report, or trying to make money by finding some coins out there today. All right, so all the sales, of course, are from within the last 24 to 48 hours, and all of the seller images are virgin. Okay, they are what they are, and there's no Photoshop manipulation to make these coins look good. I simply made them together, and that's what you got. All right, so we got a nice little lineup here to get you guys started. If you're lucky enough to still find bank rolls at the bank, certainly take advantage of it, whether it's a few rolls or full boxes. Okay, they're both equally good for you. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the first listing. We're going to start it off slow with just a really nice off-center struck coin. It's off-center by about 10%. What's really cool about this coin, other than the fact that it's off-center, is it has two things going for it. It has a full date, which is what you want to see. If it has a mid-mark, you probably would want to see that as well. That would just enhance the collectability of off-center coins. This is such a very dedicated sector of error coins that people just love to collect by year. And this particular coin, in addition, has a really nice mid-state condition look to it. I would say mid-state 64, 65 perhaps. Just an overall peach of a coin. If you're looking for an example of this type, this is definitely the one to get. It is a zinc-in. It's a copper-coated zinc, so that kind of deflates the actual overall value. People want the older off-center coins, of course. This one sold for $14.98. So this one right here, I wanted to make you guys aware of what's out there for these seldom searched through Sacagawea dollars, or what they call Native American dollars, and they all have the different designs that are changed every year. I think they release, one or two designs every year. This particular coin right here is a 2010S. It's a proof coin. Now, this is going to involve you actually searching through proof sets if you want to. But this one right here kind of caught the collective attention of a few people. I actually talked to someone else about this coin that sold about 12 hours ago. And it's not really anything that you see on the obverse or the reverse of the coin, but what is on the edge. The edge has and holds all of the information. It has the date, the mint mark, the motto. It's got these stars. However, on this particular example, this proof coin, it also appears that it has some sort of doubled edge lettering, okay? And it's like a north-south orientation. I don't know what the deal is with this. I'm going to consult with a few experts that I do know of whether or not this is an actual doubled edge lettering, kind of like what we saw on the James Adams 2007 dollars back in the day, or if this is simply just a result of some sort of edge strike doubling, okay? I don't even know if there's such a thing. But this one right here has certainly caught the attention of a number of spirited bidders, so much so that I think it took like 14 or 15 bids, but it got bid up before it closed to $105.47. So I would say that if you guys are able or have the ability to look at probably this specific date, I don't know if these exist on any other date, but not many people actually cherry pick these brand new proof dollars. There's just not a lot of interest in them. But of course, when a coin sells for this kind of money, it definitely warrants some sort of, just second look. Okay, we want to make sure this is a variety or an error and not something that is, like a machine doubling or strike doubling. It's kind of hard to say, but we'll see. I'll talk to several people and get their take on it, but it's just a remarkable looking coin. Hard to miss, that's for sure. And yeah, $105 later. That's a pretty tremendous sale. So what we have here is just simply a mint-sewn bag of 1980s Susan B. Anthony dollars. So these are Philadelphia struck coins. So what's the big deal with these? Primarily to look for errors. There's really no varieties for 1980p. So it's either finding some errors or possibly finding a coin that'll grade really high. There are a few collectors for registry sets of Susan B. Anthony dollars. So this one right here, even though it's in the mint bag, probably has a bunch of bag marks and nicks and all that. But mostly it's for errors. This one right here is $100 face, and it's sold for $179. The same seller sold a Denver mint bag for the same amount of money as well. So this one's really cool. So we're going north of the border here. We have a Canadian dime, and as you can see, it's got a just great big old fissure that goes right through it. This is actually a defective planchet, so the planchet was never really any good prior to the strike. So with the strike, it just makes things look a lot more neat, and we can decipher that is a 1990s coin. We don't know what exactly the last digit is because it's got a great big old crack right through there, Grand Canyon style. But this is a really cool error, and this one sold for $20.55. Okay, Canadian coins with errors have just their own popularity in itself. You have a lot of collectors for these north of the border coins. All right, so the featured coin on the video, I can't stop looking at this because this thing's cool. It is a coin that if you looked at the front of the coin, you would think, oh yeah, that thing's damaged. Okay, and but if you look at the reverse of the coin, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. So it's a 1971p Lincoln Memorial cent that was double struck in collar. Okay, it never got flipped over because you have the same secondary strike that's been rotated all the way around. I mean, this thing is amazing. And this right here is also I think probably the back of Lincoln that's been flipped all the way around as well, and that's what you see there. But somewhere in here, I think on the forehead, you could actually see a few of the raised letters of Liberty. And just to let you guys know, this is a legitimate double struck coin. Some would say, well, oh, okay, well, this is probably one of those vice jobs that you hear so much about. Well, there's a distinct difference. With a vice job, okay, the secondary impression elements of another coin would be infused into the host coin, all right, whereas these are all raised. You can see all, even the Lincoln Memorial on the back is raised as well. So that has all the hallmarks of being a legitimate error. Plus, you don't have a bunch of the rim damage that is normally associated with a vice job. So this one right here, can't believe that this one isn't graded yet. And I feel like that this one sold for a tremendous bargain. I've actually seen these coins sell for many hundreds of dollars. This particular one, and where was I? I wanted to buy this thing for what it sold for. $79.20. Do not, I believe the seller had a feedback score of like 4 or 5. All right, so they're a relatively new seller on eBay. That's kind of understandable if you're trying to get your sea legs on eBay and trying to build a reputation. Okay, you're going to have to give away a few things. Unfortunately, this was one of them. Again, this is a coin. You send it off to PCGS or NGC, get it attributed as a double struck coin. You could turn around and sell for like $400 or $500. So definitely a little bit of money left on the table on this one. Search that currency, guys. If you can't find the coins, you can always find bills. What we have here is a 1999 $1 Federal Reserve note with a really interesting serial number pattern. This one has what they call a 2-digit repeater. So it's 2 digits repeated over and over and over throughout the rest of the serial string. So we have 80, 80, 80, 80 all the way across, and it's on both sets of serials. This is just a very collectible, fancy serial number note. In spite of its condition, you can see the back as well. Nothing too fancy as far as overall condition, but because of that serial number, these are widely coveted. And what I would say is a right good sized field of currency collectors that want these fancy serial number notes. This one sold for $114.05. Keep in mind the condition. The condition doesn't really matter in something like this. Now, of course, if it was a much newer note, obviously it would sell for way more money, probably $300-400 bucks. But that's a really cool repeater. Okay, we got another lovely bicentennial. As you guys know, I have a soft spot in my heart for bicentennial coinage errors, and this one right here certainly is one that definitely sets the old heart afire. This one right here is a Broadstruck coin, so there was no collar present when this coin was being struck. So the metal flow has to go somewhere, so it goes out. So the coin is probably just slightly smaller than a $half. Again, any sort of errors on bicentennial coinage, whether it's a clip or strike through or a broad strike or you name it, you know, God forbid we ever come across a double struck bicentennial quarter, okay, that I think that would be the day that the cows come home. But this one right here sold for $27.35, whereas a broad strike on any other 1970s coin will probably sell for about half that. Okay, so what we have here is a really well-loved and really worn 1952 Lincoln wheat cent. And to a lot of people, this is a spender. No doubt about it. It's just overall condition, you know, the corrosion on the reverse. There's not a whole lot to like about this coin. But upon closer examination, you do have a really cool die chip in the wheat stalk on the reverse. But that's not the main focal point for this coin. As a matter of fact, it's got a interior die break, a big old cracked skull, and it goes all the way into the rim, into these letters. This is a really common day for this sort of thing, and when you do find one, it sticks out like a sore thumb. So what are we talking about as far as value here? This particular coin sold for $4.25, where customarily, you know, it would be a penny coin all day long, 1 cent value. Because of its condition, it looks like a spender. Here's a really nice high-grade off-center state quarter. This is a North Carolina 2001 Philadelphia. As you can see, it's off-center by about 5, maybe 6, 7%. Just an overall nice presentation piece. You know, if you're looking to collect the state quarter program in off-center, this is a good one that I would say would fit in any collection. And it sold for $22.74. Keep in mind, even though it's off-center, this one, because it's not off-center too much, is still the size of a regular quarter. So these can be found in rolls. My favorite, 2020, the year that time forgot. And we need to forget because of everything just going on. But when it comes to U.S. Mint errors, okay, quality control was out the window. When all the rumors of a possible coin shortage was out there, and the U.S. Mint had to make up for that by producing more coins at just a abnormally high rate. I mean, people were bringing these in by the truckloads to the banks and to the armored car companies. And guess what? When there's no quality control, anything goes. This 2020 Philadelphia American Samoa back quarter has another one of those incredible strike throughs that you see on the reverse. So if you guys are on the East Coast and you want to make some extra money, buy some quarters. Look for this, because I guarantee you, you are going to be doing pretty well at the end of the day once you find a number of these. This one, like the last 4 or 5 of them that I've highlighted on the PCMR, sold for a good deal of money. This one, no exception. It sold for $54.20. outstanding money. Can you imagine finding like 4 or 5 of these in a box and then turn around and selling them and just raking it in? Okay, I would say that a couple, $200, $300, $400 during the holidays is quite needed these days for a lot of people. 1970D Lincoln Memorial Cent. It's in really nice shape. This one obviously had some issues at some point because we have a lot of die clashing going on. You can see just the clashing on the obverse. It's really strong. You can see a little bit on the reverse as well, like toward the bottom of the memorial. But this is one of those jailhouse Lincoln clashes that we all love. This one right here sold for $8.10. All right, just really great air, and they're all worth something to someone. So make sure you keep an eye out for these. Another Lincoln Memorial, this time in 1972, and the reason why a 72 would even pop up on the list is that it's a date notorious for doubled die obverse. Okay, there's about a dozen very nice pairing types. Okay, this is another one right here. You're going to get strong doubling in the motto, "In God We Trust," and in Liberty on this one. This, by the way, is FS 103. So it's DDO number 3 on the list. And just an overall tremendous looking example. This one sold for $43, and they all sell for a good deal of money. Now here's one that you could probably cherry pick, maybe a coin shop or show. It's 1938 Philadelphia Jefferson nickel. It's the first date of the Jefferson nickel design, okay, which doesn't say a whole lot because these are pretty available in high grades. However, there are a bevy of various doubled dies that you could find for this particular date, in spite of the fact that it's the first year of the series. Now this one right here is DDO number 8 or FS 106 in the Cherry Picker's Guide, and it's quite strong actually. You're going to have doubling on the profile of Jefferson, so you can see kind of like the doubled nose that goes all the way up the bridge. You have a doubled forehead, and then if the die state is strong enough, you also have doubling on the top of the mouth and the lips and the chin. So this is just a really nice coin, and of course you have lots of doubling going on in Liberty. I believe this is a QDO, if I'm not mistaken, a quadrupled die obverse. So yeah, you see the feet here on these letters. They're like very long and stretched out on the earlier die states. You can see multiple serifs that are all split on there. But this one right here sold for $87.96. Not only is it a great combination of this particular variety, but the condition is really, really nice on this coin. It's a nice, really high-end mint state example. It doesn't have full steps, but that's okay. I don't think it really matters too much on this coin. We got quarters. You know who else has them? Sullivan Numismatics. Okay, so he has a Dutch auction of these clipped Washington quarters. I would imagine that he's gone through many, many rolls of BU Washington quarters from the 80s and 90s, and usually you'll find some clipped planchet coins. As you can see, this is an example of a coin that he sold, and here's just a kind of like a snapshot of the amount of coins that he does have for this particular denomination. So another one sold, and he was selling these for $6 a piece, which isn't too bad. Okay, clip planchets are one of the more common errors, but you know, as you can see, they have a little bit of value as well. Again, another coin that not a lot of people would, you know, take a second look at. This would probably end up back in the spend pile, or probably it'd end up in a box full of other Lincoln Wheat cents. But we have a 1955D Lincoln Memorial cent. As you guys know, these are also notorious for having the BIE die crack right here. Why is it called BIE? Because this die chip looks like an I. All right, and that's how it got its namesake. So anytime you have a B with a combination of some sort of die chip, and it can be any size as well. It can be small, large. It can be just a little crack that fuses one letter to another. They're all BIEs. They're very attributable on Cuds on Coins' website. So this one right here sold for $4.99. 1982 not due, 1982 small date Lincoln Memorial cent that has just a really nice huge die break cut right here that covers the D in God, covers N and a few letters in trust. And on the corresponding side, on the reverse, you also have some weakness, which is what you want to see for a legitimate cut die break. But this is a small date. I believe it's a copper Lincoln and not the copper-coated zinc. This one right here, really nice. Sold for $42.79. $42.79. This one right here is a 95% off-center struck coin. This one is actually quite remarkable because it's way off-center. I mean, when it's off-center by that much of a margin, there can't be a whole lot that you could get from the actual off-center strike. But you got just enough right here on this piece to know that it's a 1989 Lincoln cent. It's probably either a Denver or a Philadelphia. Okay, it's a like 50-50 shot at this point. Just an overall really cool coin, okay? But again, I have my reservations about copper-coated zinc off-center coins. I just feel like they're not long for this world because of the composition. As you can see, there's a lot of exposed zinc here, so storage is going to be key for something like this. This one sold for $16.50, if you believe it or not. Man, there's a lot to cherry pick on those Buffalo nickels, and here's another one. So I'm going to go on record by saying that there is some pretty good substantial issues with this coin. You have this pretty nice scratch right on the front of the coin. Okay, number one. Number two, you have some sort of roller mark that goes right through the top hump of the Buffalo and into his head. So we definitely have some damage issues on this coin. But again, take a look at the date, 1935 Buffalo nickels. Are I'm not going to say dime a dozen, but you can pick these up for about a quarter out of just a bargain bin of Buffalo nickels, low grade type stuff. This one right here, this is a variety to keep an eye out on. Okay, it's a cherry picker's guide, DDR, double die reverse, and you can see just a doubling of 5 cents on here is what you're going to look at. Okay, you can see the splits in the E and the top of the N and the T. It's all deadly. I've cherry picked probably a dozen of these, and they're all fun, and they're all worth pretty good money. This one right here, I would say grades out about kind of like a VG8. You have a partial horn on the Buffalo, and it's sold for $42.95. All right, pretty good amount of money for this variety, even with the damage on there. Here's another fancy serial number note. So we got a relatively new 2013 $1 Federal Reserve note. As you guys know, I look through dollar bills quite frequently for stuff like this. This is a low serial number, so anything with 4 leading zeros or more is considered a fancy. So we have a low serial number, 485, all right, on this one. And believe it or not, this is worth money. So you pull these aside, obviously. This one is in tremendous shape, by the way. But this one right here sold for $44.95. Tremendous, tremendous example. If you're able to find one, they are out there. You can find radars as well out there. Yeah, repeaters, 4-digit repeaters. So you have the first 4 numbers repeated twice on the same serial number. Those are all fantastic to find as well. And then we're going to end it off on the big coin that I cannot believe is not graded at all. You would figure that a lot of these would be graded anyways, but we have a 2000 Philadelphia New Hampshire State Quarter. This thing is double struck. The secondary strike is approximately 30% off center on this one. Yes, this is the real deal because all of the elements of the secondary impression are raised on here. And this thing is just simply amazing. Have I mentioned that I don't know why this thing isn't graded yet? The only thing that point out that kind of I'm curious about if this is really damage right here on this edge, or if that's just a result of the second strike. I don't know. It remains to be seen, but I'm pretty sure that this is going to end up in a holder someday. So I would say for the amount of money that this one sold for, it's a pretty good bargain. If you're looking for a double struck coin of this magnitude, trust me, you will be spending $1,000 to $2,000 easy for a PCGS graded example. This one, on the other hand, sold for $445. Wow. That's probably one of the cheapest double struck coins of this type that I've seen in quite some time, and I would venture to guess that once it's in a PCGS slab, it's probably going to double in price pretty easily. And it'll probably end up on some site like Great Collections or Heritage Auctions in the future. It's just that remarkable of an error. And again, this is kind of like one of those white whale type coins that people yearn to look for in their change. And it can happen. I mean, this one has some circulation wear on it. So what does that tell you? All right? I don't need to say anything else more about that. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. Hopefully you got a little bit of kind of the creative juices flowing for your cherry picking or coin roll hunting activities this weekend. During the holidays, people are pushing out tons of coins to the banks. At least in theory, it's supposed to happen. There are certain people across the country that still don't have access to the same volume of rolls and bank boxes as they used to because of the coin shortage. It's still a thing. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. As always, like, share, subscribe. Hit that good old bell for instant notifications. And as always, Coinaholics, we are discovering together. You guys take care. Be happy, healthy, and safe. And I'll see you on the next coin video.